Hey everyone, this is going to be a demo of Sketchbook Your World. Now, for those of you that may have been paying attention, I did a live stream of this a few months ago, back in October, and got the comment that, yeah, this is probably not the best demonstration because I was with other people and it didn't flow the way that I would have liked it to, and I had to agree. So, I mean, that's a big reason why I don't really do anything with people anymore. But this is going to be an updated demo of SBYW. So for those of you that may know, I did a demo of this game back in 2018 when it was called Scrolling Battles Your World, and it's changed quite a bit since then. So we're going to take a look at it. I'm going to try to give you an overview of some of the new features. For those of you that don't know and just came across this or just came across the channel, this is a map building game where you build maps and you can explore maps that other players make. I do recommend going through the video about SBYW because it's still relevant to an extent. The main changes in this new version are that now, instead of building 2D maps, you can build maps in 3D, which basically means you've got up, down, backwards, forwards, left, and right. So instead of a side-scrolling environment, it tries to mimic more of a real world type of thing, because in the real world, obviously, we can go left, right, up, down, backwards, or forwards. So essentially, I'm going to go ahead and launch this. Now, again, just to get these things out of the way, this is written in BGT, so you'll probably want to download it and save it to an excluded directory if you have an antivirus. I did a demo on how to exclude items with Windows Defender in my BSC Games demo, the demo where I showed you how to run it on Windows 11, actually. But you'll want to download it there to an excluded location where it won't get classified as a virus and potentially erased and things like that. The other thing you'll need are the Microsoft Visual C++ runtimes. I will be putting a link to a download page to those. Basically, you can download a big package of them and run one file and it will install them all. That's required for the game to run. So let's go ahead and launch the executable here.
Start. Spy.exe.
I'm going to run sbyw.exe.
Sketchbook Your World 5.2.3.3 main menu.
So that is the current version as of this recording. And there's some music in the background, obviously. Let's go through the interface to start off with, because there are some new things here. You navigate this with left and right arrows.
Multiplayer game M.
That obviously lets you sign into the server. This is multiplayer only, so if you don't have a network connection, I guess you can play with the menus and the preferences dialog, but it's meant to be played online, so you will need an active network connection to do that.
Test speaker orientation T.
Test speakers, let's go ahead and run that.
Testing speakers. Left speaker. Right speaker.
Oh no.
Center.
There you go.
Main menu.
Just to make sure that your headphones or speakers are on properly.
Multiplayer game M. Test speaker preferences P.
This is the preferences dialog. This has been revamped.
Browse available downloads D.
Browse available downloads, which I'll get to in just a second.
Reset and re-download all sounds R.
Reset and re-download all sounds. This is useful if you need to re-download the game sounds. So to save storage, well, to save download time, I presume, and to allow dynamic updates to the sounds. When you download the game, it downloads as a very tiny zip file. You extract it and then run the main game file. What it will then do is it will check for updates and check for updates to the sounds. These checks actually happen each time that you run the program, so if it finds new versions, it will let you know and ask you if you want to install them. But what you have to do is tell it to download the sounds. It will download the sounds, it will extract them, and then load them up for you. This option lets you re-download them if you're having problems. I'm going to actually do this just to show you what it does.
Sounds reset dialog. Are you sure you wish to do this? This will delete the sounds folder and save snapshots and thus force a re-download of all sounds. Yes button.
And you can obviously choose yes or no, so let's just choose yes. Now this shouldn't take too long. I have a pretty fast network connection.
Sketchbook sounds update dialog. There are 3,804 sounds available to be updated. Do you want to download them now? Yes button.
Yes, we'll choose yes.
Sketchbook Your World 5.2.3.3 downloading sounds.
And it plays those beeping sounds to let you know what it's doing. Now, obviously, depending on the speed of your network connection, this might take a while. The sounds are about...
Extracting zip.
Oop, that was fast. Now it's extracting it. So actually, that was one of the new things that they did was...
Sounds snapshot. Please wait.
Oop, now it is building the sound snapshot.
Main menu.
And there you go. We're back in the main menu. The sounds have been re-downloaded. As I said, though, it downloads about 1.2 gigabytes of sound data. And what's nice is I believe as of one of the recent updates, it downloads a single file instead of a whole bunch of them. So it makes the download process a lot faster. Of course, assuming that your network connection can do that. So there you go. And then of course it installs them and configures them automatically for you. The sounds are encrypted as you would expect. So that's basically what that does.
Multiplayer game test preferences P. Browse available downloads D. Reset and re-download all sounds R. Exit X.
And then you've got exit.
Multiplayer game M.
So let's show you the preferences screen.
Test preferences. Preferences dialog. Enable voice chat checkbox checked Alt plus V.
Now, this used to be a menu that was very confusing. This has been changed to more of a dialog box type of environment. Now, my understanding is because this is written in BGT, they aren't actual on-screen controls, but it's mainly an audio interface that's basically it's sending text to the screen reader and interpreting it. So for those of you that can see that might want to play this, you'd have to listen to a text-to-speech voice read this. Now, if you're not using a screen reader, it will default to using Microsoft SAPI, which is built into pretty much all modern versions of Windows. So basically we're taken to a dialog box with a bunch of controls, and you can tab and shift tab through them. I'm going to shift tab.
Cancel button Alt plus C.
There's the cancel button. It also tells you that you can hit hotkeys like Alt C to jump quickly to things.
Enable voice chat checkbox checked Alt plus V.
Voice chat, you can voice chat in this, and I did demo that in the previous demo. That one, you do need to have a paid account though, and I believe a paid account is like $12. But it's a one-time payment of $12 that unlocks voice chat, and I believe you get some extra map features, like you can build platforms that move, hazards that move. You can build passages, which are essentially, you can open and close them and they will remain open or closed, and you can walk through them basically. I'll try to explain that as we go here. So I'm going to hit tab.
Enable Braille output checkbox unchecked Alt plus B.
That's supposed to say Braille output. This voice has some weird glitches. This does output to a Braille display. I don't know how practical you would find it, especially because messages can come in very quickly. But if you need to play this in Braille, or you want to play this with a Braille display, you can.
Require holding a voice chat key checkbox checked Alt plus H.
You can require that you hold down the voice chat key, which by default is O, or you can uncheck this and you hit it once to turn it on and hit it again to turn it off.
Make signs loop in maps and check this box for signs to play only via steps, checkbox unchecked Alt plus G.
Again, if you want the signs to loop, you can check that. I have it unchecked because I don't want to hear it constantly looping.
Make doors loop in maps. Uncheck this box for doors to play only via steps. Checkbox unchecked Alt plus D.
The same thing concerning doors.
Play beacons at random pitches for each player. Checkbox checked.
Play beacons at random pitches for each player. These are player beacons that you can turn on. I'm going to actually uncheck this.
Not checked.
Because I think the pitch thing is really weird. But basically, if you turn on the beacon feature, it will play a beeping noise at the position of other players that are close by to you.
Play sounds when map is loading. Checkbox unchecked.
I turned this off as well. It plays some sounds when your maps load.
Reload all ambiances into memory on map load. May introduce initial lag when map loads but may improve performance in the actual map. Checkbox checked Alt plus R.
So this preloads a bunch of sounds into memory for each map, so each map can have different types of sounds linked to it. If you want the game to perform better and you have lots of RAM, I would turn this on. I've got 16 gigs of RAM, so RAM is not a scarce resource on my system, so I figure I might as well use as much RAM as I can, because as they say, empty RAM is wasted RAM. So this, from what I can gather, if you turn it on, it will preload a bunch of things into RAM and should hopefully help performance, because the program won't have to constantly load data from your drive.
Enable caching in large maps may accentuate jerky movement. Checkbox checked.
I think this does the same thing. I'm not really sure what this one does. I also have it checked because, again, if you can cache things and store things in RAM, why not?
Enable streaming audio instead of loading. Checkbox unchecked.
This, I believe, instead of loading the sounds into RAM, it dynamically loads them from disk as they're needed. I turned this off, so this is unchecked.
Enable streaming audio instead of loading. Checkbox unchecked.
Yeah, so that's unchecked, so if my understanding is correct, it should load the files.
Enable playback of music in maps. Checkbox checked Alt plus M.
This game has a bunch of music tracks that you can add to your maps. If you don't want that, you can turn that off and then you won't hear music. And it won't load music into maps, which can save resources if your computer is more low-end.
Enable auditory progress indicators when loading maps. Checkbox unchecked.
Again, I turned this off. I don't really need that.
Enable auditory beeps when navigating buffers. Checkbox checked.
Auditory beeps when navigating buffers. So I'm not sure if I talked about buffers in the old demo, but basically if you hit your left and right bracket keys, you'll go through a list of buffers, mainly related to messages. You've got things like chat messages, PMs, player events, things like that. I'm going to actually I'll leave this on.
Ask to exit when pressing escape. Checkbox checked Alt plus X.
This is pretty self-explanatory. If you want the game to prompt you before you exit with a yes or no prompt, you can go through here and turn that on. If you uncheck this, obviously pressing escape will just disconnect from the server and you'll go back to the main menu.
Mute audio when the game is not in focus. Checkbox unchecked Alt plus M.
If you want the program to mute its audio when you're in a different window, you can turn this on. I would personally leave this off, but that's a preference.
Mute speech when the game is not in focus. Checkbox unchecked Alt plus M.
This goes for text-to-speech events, so if you don't want to be bothered by messages, you can check this. Otherwise, you will continue to get messages from the program when you're doing other things in Windows.
Change sound system button Alt plus U.
This lets you change your output device.
Set speech output mode button Alt plus P.
This lets you set your text-to-speech output mode. If I hit enter here,
Select an output. Auto A.
and I hit the left and right arrows,
Say PS. Auto A.
auto will try to auto-detect a screen reader,
Say PS.
or you can set it to SAPI,
Auto A.
which will make it use the Microsoft SAPI. I hit enter there on auto, and let's hit tab.
Change log output directory button Alt plus L.
This does store logs for all the major game events, and you can change that here.
Change voice pack button Alt plus V.
This lets you choose a different voice pack. I'll get into what those are in just a second.
Change skin button Alt plus K.
And skins, which is another new feature.
Compile skin button. Compile voice pack button.
These let you compile custom voice packs and skins that you make into files.
Clear settings and reset game to out-of-the-box state button.
This resets everything back to defaults, so if you're having problems, you can come in here and reset it. That might fix some problems for you.
Save settings button Alt plus S.
And then you've got save. Let's hit save.
Options saved. Main menu.
And here we are back in the menu. Obviously, you can hear the music. If I hit page up and page down, you can turn the music up and down. We'll leave it right about there.
Multiplayer game M. Test prep browse available downloads D.
So the last thing to talk about before we actually jump into the game is browse available downloads.
Ping lost. Skins. Voice packs. Skins.
Okay, I'm not sure why it said ping lost. Let's hit escape and try that again.
Main menu. Reset and browse. Select what you wish to download.
Okay. This lets you download voice packs or skins that have been uploaded to the server. Essentially, voice packs customize the... and I can probably let the game explain itself on that, but voice packs let you customize a lot of sounds related to your characters, such as when you fall, when you use the hook, when you do different things like that. Skins customize the UI sounds, so things like this.
Skins, voice packs, skins.
All the clicks in the menus, the sound effects for chat messages, for private messages, things like that. Voice packs are a little buggy right now. I'm waiting for them to fix some stuff, but hopefully that will be fixed sooner rather than later.
Voice packs, skins.
Let's show you some skins here. So I'm going to hit enter on skins, and what this will do, it will connect to the server and give you a list of things that you can download.
Pack downloader. 21 packs found. Available packs list Bakir.
So basically, this is a list control. You hit up and down arrows to go through items in the list.
Cosmic Rage 2 of 21, Crazy Party 3 of 21, Edge of Time 4 of 21, Golden Crayon 5 of 21, Hearthstone 6 of 21, iOS 7 of 21, Man Aim 8 of 21, Minecraft 9 of 21, Once Upon a Time 10 of, Star Wars 11 of, Swamp 12 of 20, Undead Assault 13, Windows 11 14, Elementals 15 of, Firefight 16 of, Futuristic 17 of 21, Oleg's Skin 18 of, Quentin Playroom 19 of 21, STW 20 of, Windows XP 21 of 21.
And so those are all the current ones that are currently available. Now let's go ahead and, just for the sake of demo,
Windows 11, Undead Assault 13, Swamp 12 of, Star Wars.
And you can check as many of these as you want. Let's see.
Bakirano, Cosmic Rage, Crazy Party 3 checked, Edge of Time, Crazy Party checked 3 of 21.
Now, if you check one with the space bar, it will tell you that it's checked when you move in the list.
Crazy Party checked 3 of 21.
And so technically you could check as many of these as you wanted and choose download. Let's just download Crazy Party. So I'm going to hit enter.
Confirmation dialog. You are about to download one pack. Continue. Yes button.
I'll hit yes.
Success dialog. One pack's downloaded. OK button. Sketchbook Your World. Multiplayer game M.
And it takes me back to the menu. Let's show you what this is like here.
Preference. Browse available down. Preferences P.
Let's go back into preferences. I'm going to shift tab.
Save. Clear setting. Compile voice. Change skin button. Alt plus K.
We're going to go to change skin.
Select a skin. Default. Built-in skin. D. Crazy Party. Change to the Crazy Party skin.
And I'll hit enter.
Compile. Clear. Save settings button.
Hit
Alt
save.
plus F. Options saved. Main menu. Multiplayer game M. Test speaker orientation T. Preferences P. Browse available downloads D. Reset and re-download all sounds R. Exit text.
So as you can tell, it changed the menu sounds as well as the menu music.
Multiplayer game M. Exit text. Multiplayer game M.
And the rap sound. And there's some other sounds that will change as well when you log in.
Test speaker orientation T.
Alright, so let's see here.
Browse available downloads D.
I'll show you voice packs here.
Select what you wish to download. Skins, voice packs. Pack downloader. 3 packs found. Available packs list. Bakura Odkin 3. Battle Droid 3 of 3. The Fuck Pack 2 of 3.
Let's go with Bakura
Checked.
and hit enter.
Confirmation dialog.
Enter.
Success dialog. 1 packs downloaded. OK button. Sketchbook Your multiplayer game M. Tests. Preferences P.
Now, if I go into preferences here.
Can't say clear change skin button change voice pack select a voice pack default Bakura Odkin 3 change to the Bakura Odkin 3 voice pack change compile clear save settings options saved multiplayer game M multiplayer menu.
Alright, so let's go ahead and show you what this is like. Now I'm going to log in here.
Sign in S.
So you can sign in.
Sign in as A.
You can type in new account info.
New account N.
To sign in as. So the difference between sign in and sign in as, sign in will use the last credentials that you used to sign in. Sign in as will let you either change them or log in as a different user. New account, you can make a new player here.
Request a password reset key P.
If you don't know your password or you lost it, you can request a password key here. It basically will send you a code to your email and you type it in.
Enter a password reset key R.
Right here, and then you can change your password.
That B.
Or you can go back. And I believe when you register, it asks you for a username, a password, and an email address, which is used for password resets. So, as usual with these types of things, my username on here is Slannon. Slannon.
Sign in S.
So let's go ahead and sign in.
Logging in. Sign in appears in this reality. The residential street.
And it cut itself off by announcing some zones. But if I hit my left bracket
all 5
to go to the all buffer and then hit shift
Jason threw themselves in
comma to go to the top.
Slannon appears in this reality.
That is a custom online offline message, which I'll get to in just a minute here.
Jason decided.
Then I'm going to hit, so comma moves up in a buffer, period moves down, shift with either of those jumps you to the top or bottom.
This connection is sponsored by Golden Secret. Looks like you're a paid player. Thanks for your contribution to the game.
So yes, I am a paid player. Basically, you go to the website and you can buy credits with PayPal that you can then use.
Aaron the Dragon Slayer enters in a burst of electric energy, heralding him.
Okay, so
Rose is now trying.
Let me turn this off.
Speech mode off.
Basically, you go to the website and you can download or you can buy credits, and then you use those to activate the paid account, which gives you some extra features. So I'm logged in, and what you're hearing right now is people are chatting and doing things like that. Because I'm using a custom skin, it's playing custom sounds, and there is documentation on how to make voice packs and skins. If you go into the documentation folder in the main game, you can read those files and it will tell you how to do that. So let's go ahead and turn on
speech mode beeps.
Speech here.
Speech mode talk.
And I'm gonna look at the chats here. So let's hit right bracket.
Chats. 6.
and go to the top.
Garen the Dragon Slayer. Hi. The Death Knight flips. Rose through themselves. Child of the Dark Entity. Goodbye. Blindsnity.
And I'm jumping to the bottom. So
Rose through themselves. Chat dialogue.
obviously you can chat by hitting
Garen the Dragon Slayer.
slash and typing something.
H-E-L-L-O.
Now, if you don't want it
The
to
golden
read
snip.
text out to you, you just hit F2
Echo words. Echo both characters and words. Echo off. Rose
until
through
you get
themselves.
to the typing echo option that you want.
Slannon. Hello. The Death Knight. And I'm a Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, okay.
Rose's bloody corpse now.
And that's just people logging
Electron
in and out.
72 is no longer.
Now, what I think I'm going to do
Dragon.
is mute the chat because chats get annoying,
Piano
I
Wolf.
find.
Lowell.
So to mute a buffer, you
Electron.
move to it with the brackets and you hit F5.
Rose. Chat's muted.
So the chats have been muted, which should cut down on a lot of the activity.
The Golden Snitch went splat after falling 10 tiles on Row Final Hazardless Presentation Challenge, losing 1 health.
And, well, except for player events, which I should probably mute as well. So if I hit
Rose
right
equals
bracket,
dead. Miscellaneous 6.
miscellaneous, this has messages related to, I believe, the server. Let's go to the top here.
Slannon appears in this reality. This connection is sponsored by Golden. Looks like you're. Garen the Dragon Slayer enters in a burst of electric energy. Faye flies into town. Child of the Dark Entity has changed their nickname to Inkillable Dragon.
Yeah, so this is people logging in, changing nicknames.
Player events. 20.
Player events, this is related to players making maps.
Rose had a wonderful time falling 50 tiles on how fast can you press enter, losing 1 health.
That's basically telling you when people die on maps and things like
Rose
that.
equals dead.
I'm going to mute this as well. Well, actually, yeah,
Player events muted.
let's mute that as well. So that should cut down on a lot of the traffic that you hear, which I think for some people might be extremely helpful because it can cut down on the amount of messages that are read out automatically. Now, having said that, the messages are still there and you can still go through and review them manually, but when you turn them off like this, it prevents them from being read and playing sounds and things like that. So that's basically it. That's how you chat. You can PM, obviously, so if I...
Rose rides off into the sunset.
Oop, and there's people logging out. You can PM, so if I open the chat box with slash...
Chat dialogue. Enter your public chat here. Edit multi-line blank.
You can either type it, or what's cool with the redesigned interface, if you hit tab,
Sent to. List public chat.
you can choose where messages are sent to. So you've got the chat,
Map chat.
map chat, which is all the players on the current map can view it.
TTS chat.
This is a text-to-speech chat, which sends a message using your text-to-speech engine. I think what it essentially does is it records a file of your speech engine reading the text, and then it sends it to the server, which then plays it for people that are in your immediate area. So I'd say probably about 20 tiles or so. So you choose where you want it to go,
Send message button Alt plus S.
and then you can type it.
Cancel button Alt. Enter your TTS chat here. Edit multi-line blank.
You type it, and then you hit enter, and it's sent.
Cancelled.
Or if you know what the commands are, you can type in like
Chat dial.
/PM, and then player name. So I'll do PM /PM SLANNON, and then we'll do hello.
PM from Slannon. Hello. PM to Slannon. Hello.
And yeah, it plays different sounds based on your sound pack. So you've got /PM for PMs, /M for map chats, and TTS, I believe you can also access it by hitting Alt/.
Chat dialog. Enter your TTS chat here. Edit multi-line blank.
Let's type in test.
Test.
And I believe it's using Ivona, so you can change what voice it uses by hitting F6.
Select a new say voice.
And now I'll hit the left and right arrows.
Vocalizer Expressive Ava Harpo 22KHZ. Microsoft Ava Desktop English, United States. Microsoft Zira Desktop English, United States. Ivona 2 Sally OEM. Vocalizer Expressive Ava Harp. Ivona 2.
So those are all the current voices I have installed right now.
Portal opens from the stronghold of the elementals and elemental flamulus warps through.
And there's someone logging in with, I think,
The golden snitch gets...
a custom message. I'm going to go ahead and change the sounds back to their defaults.
Select options dialog. Option list client preferences.
So to get into preferences from within the game, you hit Control P, and you're presented with another dialog because there are two types of preferences. There are game preferences for the program itself. Those are called client preferences.
Server options.
And then you have options for the server. So you can move through these obviously with up and down.
Client preferences. OK button Alt plus O.
And you could tab to the OK button or cancel button or just hit enter or escape.
Option list client preferences. Preferences dialog.
So I'm going to go in here.
Compile, change skin button, change voice pack button.
Let's change these back to their defaults. Actually, I do want to show you what the voice pack sounds like. So if I jump with the spacebar, you've got things like that. If I try to use my hook with F, that is the voice pack being used. So let's go ahead and turn those off.
Select option, client
just because I want to use the default sounds.
Change voice pack button. Alt select a default built-in change to the default voice pack.
And then I'll hit enter.
Change skin button.
And tab.
Select default built-in skin. Crazy default change to the default skin.
And then enter again.
Compile saves options saved.
Then we'll save, and if I jump, there we go. We're using the default sounds.
PM 2 miscellaneous 9 chats muted 61 all.
Alright, so here we are back in the game. I'm going to show you the server options.
Select options server options.
And here we go.
Server options dialog. See coordinates when using control / checkbox unchecked.
Alright, this is the same type of interface, so the same rules will apply. This first option lets you see coordinates when you hit control / to check how many players are online.
Hide your coordinates in private maps from non-contributors checkbox unchecked.
Wait, what is that?
Hide your coordinates in private maps from non-contributors checkbox unchecked.
Yeah, so if your maps are private and you don't want non-contributors, so i.e. people that can't modify your maps to see where you are, you can turn that off.
Disallow players from tracking you checkbox unchecked.
If you don't want players to use the tracking feature to track you, you can turn this off here.
Display advertisements checkbox unchecked.
This game does support advertisements. I don't know if it's actually being used, but either way, I turn it off.
Hear your voice after sending voice messages checkbox checked.
If you don't want to hear your voice after you send voice messages, you can turn this off.
Hear zones when using control / checkbox unchecked.
This will let you view what zones players are on when you check the player list. In most cases, I don't care.
Hear maps when using control / checkbox unchecked.
The same for maps, so it will tell you which players are on which maps when you use that command.
Hear teleportation sounds when players join and leave your map checkbox unchecked.
This one's pretty obvious. It plays sounds when people leave or join your maps.
Hear server message and version on login checkbox unchecked.
You can turn this off here so you won't hear the message of the day or the version of the server when you log in.
Insert a new line at the end of map data, obtained using /raw map, checkbox unchecked.
This one might be useful
Checked.
when you're modifying maps using the text method, which I think I demoed in the previous demonstration.
Disable like prompt after finishing maps checkbox checked.
If you don't want to get prompts to like maps after you complete them, you can turn that off here.
Hear custom online and offline sounds uploaded by players checkbox unchecked.
Yeah, so players can upload custom sounds. I find most of them to be quite obnoxious, so I turn them off.
Hear online and offline sounds checkbox checked.
This plays the standard online or offline sound when people log in and out. If you prefer not to know that, you can turn it off.
Sort challenge maps by reward. Uncheck this box to sort challenge maps by date added. Checkbox unchecked.
This allows you to sort challenge maps.
Change language channel button Alt plus L.
Language channel. This might be useful. So if I hit this enter here.
Select your language channel. English, English. Espanol, Spanish, Francais, French, Deutsch, German, Italiano, Italian, Portuguese, Portuguese, Filipino, Portuguese do Brazil, Turkish A, Bahasa Malayu, Sani, Thani, Othia, A diaresis A, Hindi, unfiltered, unfiltered, English, unfiltered, unfiltered.
So a lot of those channels are for different languages. There is also unfiltered, which I think that's just an alternate public chat channel that you can go on.
English, English.
Most people,
17
though.
players in this channel.
Oh, cool.
Unfiltered, unfiltered. Espanol, Spanish. English, English. 17 players in this channel. Francais, French. 1 players in this channel.
It tells you how many players are in each channel.
English, set.
So English is the one that's set by default. That's where you'll find most people.
Hook, 2 of 3.
And I hit enter and it put me back in the menu, or in the game. So when I hit tab, it went through my inventory. Let's go back in here.
Select server options dialog.
I'm going to shift tab because it's faster.
Can't save option, change language channel button, alt plus L, sword challenge.
Actually, that's all the options.
Save options, options saved.
So we'll save those options. Now those are saved on the server, so those will move with you even if you change computers or you reinstall the game. Those are tied to your account on the server. Let's see. You can get help with
Chat
the
dialog.
/help command. So /HELP.
Chat help. Commands edit multi-line read-only menu commands.
And they made this much easier to navigate. This is a control that's meant to behave like a read-only edit field. So all your standard reading and editing commands would obviously work here. So I can hit the down arrow.
These commands will work only on your chosen world.
Now, again, I don't think that this is actually a graphical dialogue, but it simulates one and provides the text output to the screen reader.
/teams or /t opens the teams menu where you can create a team, join a team, launch a team, etc. AFK Fenton timed out.
So these are all the commands that you can use.
/unofficial or /u opens the unofficial maps menu. Maps that /challenge /unofficial or /u opens the unofficial maps menu. Maps that players have made public. Slashing the arrow with his cracking /challenge or /chill opens the challenge maps menu. Maps that are made to challenge your skills and which will often hand out a specific amount of coins as the reward for finishing them. /leaderboard or /pound opens a list of challenge maps that have active leaderboards on them. In a swirl of spirit.
Wait, what?
/
And I'm cutting off messages that are playing when players log in and out.
LEADERBOARD
/leaderboard.
space /LB
/LB is the quick way to get there.
/leaderboard or /pound opens a list of challenge maps that have active leaderboards on them.
So that's a new feature. If you open the leaderboard, you can look at challenge maps.
/team leaderboard or /LBT opens a list of team maps that have active leaderboards on them.
And it just keeps on going. Now I think if I hit home to go to the top of this line,
/selected M selected.
You can copy.
Selection copied. /team.
Yep, and if I read the clipboard, it tells me what's there. This is really helpful if you're making script keys, which I did do a demo on how to do that. I recommend checking that out. Speaking of those, I'm going to hit escape to get out of that. Speaking of the ability to make your own key commands and things like that, they added some more. So not only now do you have grave accent through backspace, but if you hold down shift, you can go shift grave accent to backspace. So that brings the total amount to 28. And what's nice too is when you hit a command, and in this example, I'm going to hold down shift and hit grave accent.
Script key 15 not found.
It actually tells you the number of the command. So if you don't have that particular number defined, it tells you what number that is. That way, when you're modifying the file, it's really easy to find the place to modify. So in this example, you would go down and modify the 15th line in the file to add the command for script key number 15. So that's useful, but I do recommend checking out that tutorial because I went into how to let me stop that. I did go into detail on how to make those, and those can be quite handy because it lets you do things by pressing one key instead of typing in commands. So I think that covers a lot of the interface type of stuff. I know I probably spent too much time on that, but I think it's important to go over those things. A lot of the gameplay is the same. So if you're in a 2D map, you can use the left and right arrow keys to walk. Up and down will generally not do anything unless you're on a staircase or somewhere where you can climb up. Now on a 3D map, you can use up, down, left, and right, and page up and page down. So obviously, as you would expect, up arrow will go north. So I'm walking north here. Down arrow will go south. Left arrow will go west. And right arrow will go east.
This is a huge parking lot. Might be a good place to park your car, if you have one. Properly, this place is perfect because some yards around are smaller, so parking won't be possible there. To the west is a residential street, to the east a playground, and to the north the village just really starts. Magistral fly.
And that's a zone here. Now if I hit C.
101, 139, 0 on concrete 3, facing right.
So as you would expect, a three-dimensional map adds a z-axis, which is height. So if I jump up into the air, or let's try that again and hit C.
101, 139, 4 in the air, facing right.
So that's the main difference, is in a three-dimensional map, it's possible to have multiple levels, which can be quite interesting. And then of course, pressing page up and page down will let you climb up and down in the air on the z-axis. So that's the big difference between 2D maps and these newer ones. The 3D maps are a bit harder to build, but if you know what you're doing, they can be quite they can be much more expansive and let you do a lot more. So let's see. Actually, I'm going to hit the number 1, which is a macro to execute. Oh, excuse me. To execute the suicide command, which should take me back to the current world map, which in this case is this one. Oops, hang on a second. Let me turn that off.
Audacity.
Okay, I do apologize. That was my phone. I have a bunch of alarms on my phone.
Sketchbook.
Alright, so we're back here in the map here. So I'm going to hit 1, which will take me back to the beginning of this map, because this map is set as my world map.
Assign.
And here we are. So you start out inside of a cabin, and this map is massive, absolutely massive. If I hit B,
Assign of Sketchbook Kingdom Archive.
It will tell me where I'm at.
Inside a small, cozy cabin. Assign.
Obviously, you can hit enter on signs.
PM from Mark. So you know, future signs will look different here. What about jumping on it so you can read its text? Then, and don't answer to this generated PM. It's fake. LMAO.
Yeah, now if I hit the space bar, I'm not sure how he built it. There's a sign somewhere. Oop, it's a wall or something.
Sign wall, 1 feet.
Oh yeah, so you can hit shift
Elemental
with
friend.
the arrow keys to look. So if I hit shift, left arrow,
Wood wall, 10 feet.
right arrow,
Table wall, 7 feet.
that looks left and then right, or I can look backwards
Wood wall, 9 feet.
and forwards.
Sign wall, 1 feet.
If you hit shift with page up and page down,
Wood wall, 9 feet. Door, 0 feet. Wall, 1 feet. Wall, 1 feet. Inside a small. Wood, 6. 5 feet wall.
Yeah, so I jumped up into the air and then hit shift page down to look at the floor, basically. So that's one way to examine the environment. Obviously, you have the camera, so if I hold down G and hit the left and right arrows, it's moving around. The beep means a player, I believe in this case me. I can move it up and to the right or left, and you hear it panning. While you continue to hold down C and hit C.
98, 99, 0 on with 6, facing left. 98, 99, 0 on. 98, 99, 0 on with 6, facing left.
Actually,
98, 99.
That's showing my coordinates, not the camera. Let's hold down G again and hit D.
Wood 6 with slanted. 98, 99, 0, right here.
I'm going to move it up and to the left here a little bit.
Wood 6, 93, 103, 0, left 5 and in front 4.
So what's nice about that is it tells you how far away the camera is in relation to you. So if I hold down G again and then hit up arrow, let's go to the right a little bit, and then I hit page up to bring it into the air, and that tells you that that's air, basically. I'm going to hit D now.
Air, 103, 105, 4, right 5, in front 6, and above 4.
So that tells me where the camera is. Now, as long as you hold down G, the camera will remain where you put it. If you let go of G and you press G again, it will reset back to your current position. So that's very helpful when you're playing maps, especially ones that are more challenging in nature, because sometimes you'll have hazards or gaps or things. So being able to very carefully examine the environment is quite useful there. Now, I guess we can talk about this map in particular very briefly. This is a very large map. In fact, I forget the dimensions off the top of my head. Let's actually check that here. So I'm going to use a command here to bring up the main menu, or actually to bring up the map information of this map, because I am a contributor. So let's do
chat dialog
in the chat box /raw map.
The data of Sketchbook Kingdom Archive has been copied to your clipboard.
And so that copies it to my clipboard. I'm going to paste this into Notepad here.
Untype.
And we'll go to the top.
Mode 3D. D. M. Up D. E. Space 3D.
So the first line tells you the mode. D mode.
Mode D. M. Up D. E. Space 3D.
Right. That tells us that it's a three-dimensional map.
Max 1000. M. A. X. X.
Max X is 1000.
Max E 5000. M. A. X. Y.
And that's supposed to say max Y.
Platform 01.
And then you've got lines and lines and lines that determine different things. I think this map has like 2,000 lines. So yeah, it's 1,000 tiles wide on the x-axis by 5,000 tall. So yeah, it's a very big map.
Notepad dialog. Do you want to save change? Don't save button. Press.
I'm going to close Notepad. I don't recommend that you modify maps that way. It's much easier to use the builder, which I'll talk about here in just a second. But this map is absolutely massive.
Assign. Inside.
And I do mean absolutely massive. That's a table, I think. So if I hit the space bar and then right arrow.
A lot of this one looks useful.
I just jumped up onto this platform here, and I can hit C.
108, 101, 3 on paper, facing right.
And I can hit enter here.
Welcome to the Welcome to the partly redesigned Sketchbook main village of the kingdom.
Now, this is also a new feature. It's possible to build, they're called, I believe the element type is called story text. So basically these are prompts that allow you to scroll them by pressing enter that can contain multiple lines, and basically you could use these to write, I don't know, maybe you're building a map and you want some parts of the map that tell a story. Well, that's what this is meant for, but it basically lets you add a bunch of information to the map that you can move through by hitting enter. So if I hit enter,
I think I am now ready to continue, and as come back, I wanted to do something larger. So like you already know, the place has changed. Like magic, this cabin appeared here and I actually like it. It's good for being AFK with no noises, the hook is disallowed, and it's just quiet in here. These are the official news for the entire game, which hopefully will be changed more often with awesome news. I again planned a lot, but I need your feedback and also a kind of little voting if you guys like it this way or not. So
basically you keep pressing enter.
Well, how I will do that in the next
Blah
time.
blah blah.
Anyway,
So I'm going to bypass all this.
Now another what I
And that sound means that the story text has ended. And now you're back to regular gameplay. Also, when you are reading a piece of text like that,
welcome.
you can hit your, I believe any arrow key will read that text again.
Welcome to the wait.
So I just pressed the up arrow. Let's press down arrow.
Welcome.
Right arrow.
Welcome.
Left arrow.
Now another what
So that's a new feature as of recently.
a lot of inside a small cozy
And
cabin.
I just walked off of that and fell back to the ground. Let's just show you what this map is like
Cabin
here.
door.
So here's the door. I'm going to hit enter to open it. This is also a passage. So right now I'm in the doorway. If I hit my left arrow, that's a wall. Right arrow, it's a wall. Now I'm outside.
Residential street. Cabin door.
Now, because this is a passage, it's still open, so if I wanted to walk back in, I just hit down arrow.
Inside. Cabin.
So passages will remain open until either you close them, other players on the map close them, or everyone on a map leaves that map, in which case I believe all passages are reset. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. So there's the door closed, opened, closed, and that's just me pressing enter. So this map is really, really large and very complex. And to help you,
Elemental Flamulus is now.
when you are designing a 3D map or you're exploring one, you can build beacons. Or I believe they're called points of interest. Now, to access a list of them, you hit T.
Points of interest. 40 entries. Press enter to select one to track.
And there's a whole bunch of them, so I'm going to hit the right arrow.
Door out of the cabin. Behind 2. At 100. 109. 0. Gate to Mark's property. Left 30 and behind 35. At 70. 76. 0.
So let's say we want to track that one. There are a bunch of these, though.
Gate to the playground. Right 49 and in front 14. Alden's house door. Left 55 and behind 3. Gate to Alden's property. Mark's house door. Mark's garage door. The gate leading into the schoolyard. Northwest entrance of the gas station. Right 50 and in front 89. Gate to Spider Maniac's property. Spider Maniac's house door.
So basically, it lists all the points of interest that the map authors have defined. Let's go ahead and go back to the...
Gate to Alden's gate to Mark's property. Left 30 and tracking gate to Mark's property.
Alright, so we are tracking that point of interest now, and it's playing beeping noises. The beeping noises will get faster as you get closer to those. Now you can hit,
Cabin door of sketchbook.
oh geez, I'm trying to remember.
Points of interest. 40 entries. Press enter to select one to track.
Trying to remember how you track.
Zones spoken without interrupting.
Oh, Z toggles how zones are read.
Zone silent. Zones spoken.
You can either tell zones to not announce themselves at all, announce themselves without interrupting other text, or just announce them as they change. I'm trying to remember what the keystroke is.
Zones spoken without interrupt. Zones silent. Zones spoken.
Oh, come on. Oh, it's Y.
Left 30 and behind 35.
So Y will tell you the distance in between you and the point of interest that you're tracking. So if I
Left 30 and behind 35.
walk to the left here,
Left 18 and behind 35.
okay, now that's a fence.
Left 6 and behind 35.
Let's go south here, or backwards. It's a fence.
Left 6 and behind 18. Behind 18.
And as you get closer, you'll hear it beeping at you in the direction where the item or the point is.
Behind 11. Gate leading in and out of Mark's property.
And when you walk up to a point of interest, it will stop tracking automatically. So now I can hit enter. This is another passage. You can walk through here.
The huge yard.
I can hit
Gate leading in.
enter here to close it. And if I try to walk forward, it's closed.
The huge yard of Sketchbook Kingdom Archive.
So the huge yard is a zone. Zones are basically just textual labels that you can add to parts of your map. So I'm just walking around here. There's a yard. There's a fence off to my right. Just walking south.
The backyard.
As you can tell, the ambience has changed. Or not the ambience, but the footsteps. Now, basically I can walk around. There's a fire over here.
A large grill. The patio. A large grill. The patio. A large grill. Flint staircase. 3x5x1 tile hazard. 5 feet.
Now, there is a hazard here. There's some fire.
Flint staircase. 3x5x1 tile hazard. 1 feet.
So if I hold down G and hit page up, that's a hazard. Let's see how wide this fire is. So it's 3 by 3x by 5y hazard. So if I were to walk up here, I would die and get sent back to the beginning of the map. Let's just go west here.
The patio.
And land back on the ground. So there's a grill.
The patio door.
And there's a door here off to the west. Now we're inside.
The living room. A small glass table in
So I mean, I could walk around. Hang on a second.
Audacity.
I apologize for that. Hopefully that won't happen too often. Anyway, hang on a second. Okay. Anyway, I could walk around this map for hours. There are literally a bunch of buildings, a bunch of shops. There's a train station area that takes you to a whole different part of the map. This is a massive map.
Inside.
But as you can tell,
a small glass table in front of the couch. Dining table.
Yeah, there's some.
A wooden bench. Inside.
I mean, this map is just massive, though. So that's basically an overview of how these types of maps work. Now, what I want to do, there's a few more things I want to do before we wrap this up. If I'm going to open the main menu, /main into the chat box. I'm going to type that into the chat box.
Main menu. Challenge maps.
Challenge maps. This is where you can go do challenge maps that give you a certain number of coins. A lot of them I don't have the patience for. I did make one. It's called Wizard's Castle. It's a 2D map because I made it in the days when this game was 2D only and didn't think it was worth it. to recompile it or remake it for 3 dimensions.
Unofficial maps.
Unofficial, these are just maps that players make, and when you publish them, they appear in this list.
Pinned maps.
Pinned maps, these are maps that are pinned by the admins.
My contributions.
My contributions, these are maps that you have rights to edit.
Store.
This is the store where you can buy different types of items. You got the hook, which lets you hook up or down to different things. F will hook up, V will hook down, and when you hook onto something, you hit the up and down arrow keys to climb up and down. You can, I believe, let's try hooking here. Now I've hooked into the ceiling. So up and down arrows on a 3D map won't do anything. On a 2D map, they will let you move up and down with the hook. To hook up and down on a 3D map, obviously you have to hit page up and page down. So I'm moving up in the air.
Carpet 4, 15 feet.
Now what is interesting about this hook feature, I just hooked up. This lets you hook through platforms and walls, which is a bit weird. So now I'm...
Floor 2 of the House of Sketchbook Kingdom Archive.
So now I went up from the ground floor of this building to the higher floor.
43, 23, 25 on carpet 4, facing right.
And my coordinates have changed to reflect this. So now I'm walking around here.
Floor 2 of the House of Sketch.
See if we got anything over here. Just walking left. Now you can, which I didn't mention this before, you can hit Q and E.
West, north, east, south, west, north.
To change your direction. I don't recommend you change that unless you really know what you're doing. It's easier to just face north and then use up, down, left, and right to navigate. Because otherwise you'll be facing a different direction and your keys will move in directions that you might not expect unless you know how movement works like that. So let's just show you some more stuff here real quick. Oop, that's a... sounds like a shower somewhere. Just walking south here. Well, there's not much here. I probably have to find doors or something. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and go back to the menu here.
Main menu. Unofficial maps. Pinned map. My contributions. Store.
The store is where you can buy things with coins. You earn coins typically by completing challenge maps.
Store. Select what you want to buy.
Let's show you what's in the store.
Potion for 333 coins. You can buy -1. Description. Using one of these will restore 10% health each. Cushion for 2,000 coins. You can buy -1. Description. When you buy this and activate it in your inventory, it will protect you from a fall by some percent. Protective gear for 5,000 coins. You can buy -1. Description. When you buy this and activate it in your inventory, it will protect you from a fall by some percent. This is slightly more effective than a cushion. Jump shoes for 10,000 coins. You can buy -1. Description. Allows you to jump slightly higher. Running shoes for 16,666 coins. You can buy -1. Description. Allows you to run faster. Hook for 33,333 coins. You can buy -1. Description. Allows you to hook onto platforms above you. Works directional. E.G. If facing left, it will hook up and left. Hook extension for 4,000 coins. You can buy -1. Description. Allows your hook to go an extra 10 squares with each extension.
Now I'm not sure why it's saying -1.
Super jump shoes.
Probably because I don't have any coins.
Super jump shoes for 50,000 coins. You can buy -1. Description. Allows you to jump higher. Super running shoes for 66,666 coins. You can buy -1. Description. Allows you to run faster. Hyper jump shoes. Hyper running shoes for 400.
So you got different types of jump and running shoes.
Spy badge for 666,666 coins. You can buy -1. Description. A collector's item.
That's meant to say SBYW. It just reads it like that.
Contributor suit for 2 million coins. You can buy -1. Description. An item that can give you special powers on maps you're a contributor of.
Now, the contributor suit,
Potion.
this is pretty cool. Let's show you how this works.
Hook extensions. You have 34.
So I'm going to navigate my inventory with tab.
Contributor suit. 1 of 3.
So here we are. So if I hit enter, it does nothing. If I hit shift enter, which is how you usually activate items in your inventory.
Contributor suit. Select features. Anti-gravity checkbox unchecked Alt plus G.
This allows you to, well, it's basically, the best way I can explain this is it's basically God mode for maps that you are a contributor of. The first option in this dialog is anti-gravity.
Checked.
You can check and uncheck these, by the way, so that you can choose which ones you would like on and off.
Go through walls checkbox unchecked Alt plus W.
This lets you walk through walls.
Invincible to hazards checkbox unchecked Alt plus H.
Invincible to hazards, that it explains it itself. You cannot be killed by hazards.
Stay stationary while on belts and moving platforms checkbox unchecked Alt plus S.
Belts and moving platforms, I'll get into those in just a bit here. This basically means that you won't move when those items move. You'll just stay in one place.
Immune to fall damage checkbox unchecked Alt plus F.
When you fall, obviously you take damage. If you fall from high enough up, this will prevent that.
Apply button Alt plus A.
You can hit apply to apply one or any number of effects.
Cancel button Alt plus C.
You can cancel it.
Reset button Alt plus R.
You can reset it.
Apply all features button Alt plus P.
Or you can hit apply all features.
Anti-gravity checkbox checked Alt plus G.
Let's show you anti-gravity. So I'm going to hit enter. It plays that sound. Now, nothing changes. But if I... let's see here.
Wood wall, 2 feet.
Okay, that's the wall. Now, if I hit page up, it plays that sound, and essentially what's happening now, I'm in the air, and it's playing that noise to tell me I'm in the air.
Nothing in this direct 43, 1, 30 in the air, facing forward. 43, 6, 30 in the air, facing forward.
And if I look down with shift page down,
Carpet 4, 5 feet. Tile 4, 30 feet.
there's the floor below me. So I'm just in the air right now. Now what we can do,
Contributors.
well, let's have some fun here.
Go through walls, checkbox unchecked.
Let's turn on go through walls.
Leaving floor 2 of the house.
Now, when you first walk into a wall, you are walking in the wall. So if I move up and down, it plays the walking noise because technically I'm walking in the wall. If I hit the right arrow,
Grass 6, 30 feet.
now I'm outside. I just went through that wall and there's grass below me.
Grass 6, 30 feet.
So I'm just floating around here. Again, pressing page up and page down will make you go higher and lower. If you wanted to land, for instance, let's hit page down.
Concrete 3, 19 feet.
I'm just holding it right now. And you hear that click as I land on the ground. Now I'm on the ground. Now the nice thing, there is a sewer underneath this map, so if I look down...
Sewer 2, 100 feet bar. Sewer
Wait, what?
2, 100 feet bars wall, 101 feet.
Right, so if I hit page down,
Leaving residential.
now I am below the ground.
95, 11, minus 6 in the air. Facing.
I'm floating in the air underneath the main map and right above the sewer. Now, what we can do,
Contributor suit.
I can
Apply reset button Alt plus R.
reset the configuration on the contributor suit, which turns it off.
Contributor suit reset.
I'm gonna fall into the sewer.
Inside the sewers, connecting every part of the map.
And here we are. I can check my health.
99.8%, 998,211 of 1 million.
But I have a lot of health in this map, so unless I were to fall from a very, very, very high point, it would be highly unlikely that I would die. Also, because this map is set as my world map,
99.9%, 998,676 of 1 million.
because this map is set as my world map, my health will regenerate automatically. If you're not in a world map, you'll have to use potions. So let's hit number 1 to go back to the starting point of this map.
Inside.
So that pretty much shows you how the contributor suit works. It's handy for testing things, say if you're building maps and you want to just walk around and do things without the fear of your player being killed. I think it's also just highly entertaining because it's basically God mode. And it works on any maps that you are a contributor of. Obviously, if you're not a contributor, it will turn itself off. So let's see here. Let's go back into the menu here.
Main menu. Challenge maps.
I'm not going to go through challenge maps because a lot of them are pretty difficult. Basically, though, I'll show you what it looks like.
Challenge maps list. Paid. Trying to get home. Reward 13,500 coins. Created by Isu Wolf and Kalahami. 1 likes.
If it doesn't tell you the map is 3D, it is a 2D map.
Hard challenge. Reward 150,000 minions challenge. 3D map. Little Christmas challenge English. Reward 12,000 points.
So that's the basic difference.
Minions challenge. 3D map.
That is one.
Hard challenge. Reward 100.
This is a 2D map. Obviously, you can choose maps to play. Let's see. Let's go back into the menu here.
Main my comp store. Teams.
Teams. I think this feature's broken. Basically, from what I can gather, it's you make teams, players join your teams, and I think you have to race each other on maps to see who can complete them the quickest.
Select your world.
This lets you choose a world map.
Worlds.
These are usually designated by admins.
Main by Muviners and Ivan. 737 likes. Updated a week ago. Cat's Main by Arami. Someone's main spaceship. Masonizm's place.
There's a bunch of them.
Spaceship by Zipig. Techi's Main. STW player map. Nature Main. Rural Main. Countryside Home by Tech. The Island of Wonders by Spot. Tanmi's Main by Tanmi. House of the Defenders by Tanmi. Ship Main by Tanmi. Itty Bitty Main by X. Radikar by Spider Main. The Trip by Tanmi.
Let's just choose one here.
Main menu.
Now this is a 2D map, so I can only move left and right.
To go AFK Forest. Rocket entrance. Forest house.
And there's a bunch of different things here. There's some signs.
To jump into the first stairs. To jump a sign. Welcome to SPYW. This is a main map, so you can press enter at 30 to get the list of things you can do. I hope you enjoy SPYW.
Yeah, so each main map will be different based on the author. Each one will require you to go to a certain point to access the menu. So on this one,
main menu button.
If I'm on, let's see,
3 0 on metal 17
X3 Y0, I can hit enter.
Main menu.
That opens up the same menu that you get access to by typing in /main. Now, I do recommend if you're going to use that command a lot, you might want to assign that to one of the script key commands. That way you can quickly access that menu from anywhere just by pressing one key. So let's see here. Let's keep exploring here.
Teams. Select your options menu.
Options. This does exactly what you would think. It puts you into the preferences menu.
Server options dialog. See coordinates when used.
Actually, that's the options for the server.
Cancelled. To go AFK. Main. Store team. Select option. List advertisements. Sorry, no advertisements found.
No ads here. Oops.
My store teams. Select option. List. Sorry, no advertisements found. Feel free to submit one. Main.
Right, so there's that.
My team. Select options. List. Submit an ad for review. Cost 10 5 credits.
You can submit an ad, but that costs 10 credits. I believe each credit is $1 actual dollar.
File payment dispute. Only use this option if you have purchased credits.
This is if you have issues with payments and you need to have those resolved.
Build a new map.
This lets you build a new map. We'll do this very shortly.
Change nickname.
let you change your nickname. Now, this is a name that appears when you hit Control/. So if I hit Control/.
20 online. 1 here. Slannon. 19 on other maps. AFK Oristar, Roxastar, AFK Cheech, AFK Booty Banger Billy, Matthew Smith, AFK Audio Gamer 19, Gamer 1919.
So the first name is a nickname. The second name is the username. So say maybe I wanted to change my nickname to Chris. It would say Chris and then Slannon because that's my username. I don't find this very useful. I think it's really weird, but it's there if you want to use it.
Main check. My team. Select option. List. Submit. File. Build a new. Change nickname. Go AFK.
This lets you go AFK. It will do this automatically after a while.
Delete your account.
You can delete your player account. I don't recommend this, especially if you're a paid user.
Log out.
They can log out.
Challenge maps.
And that's it. So let's briefly go over how to build maps.
Go change build file build a new map. Enter the name of the map you wish to create.
And I already did this in the other demo, but I think what I'll focus on more so is some of the new features that are available. So let's just call this, I don't know. Let's see here. Let's make a map called Test Arena.
Should this map be 2D or 3D? 2D.
2D or 3D?
3D.
We'll make it 3D.
Enter the maximum length you wish the map to have.
Maximum length, this is your X value. We'll just say, we'll make this 100.
Enter the maximum breadth you wish the map to have.
This is width, so your Y, 100.
Select a surface. Ash.
So this is a 100 by 100 tile map, which is pretty decent. This is a list of surfaces. You can hit the space bar on one to preview it.
Balloon.
You can hold it to play the sound continuously. You can hit H.
Hardwood.
Oop, no, wait a minute. That's
Ladder.
I thought there was a way to preview what the sound. Okay, so Control H is a hard land, and Control L is a regular land. Hard land, I believe, is when you fall from a higher amount of tiles. So let's just say we want this to be
Carpet, cement, cement 2.
So I'm pressing the letter C to jump through the list of surfaces.
Cement 5.
There are many, many types of surfaces.
Chair, cement 5.
This will work. And here we are. So now I can walk around. I can hold down the control key to run. Here we are. Let's see here. So, as you can tell right now, it's pretty boring. But to bring up the builder, you just hit P.
Build menu.
And then, obviously, the left and right arrows will go through your choices.
Platform P.
Platform. This
Benton
is just
has updated their online and offline sounds.
This is just a platform. You can add any number of platforms that you want anywhere.
Zone Z.
Here's a zone, so I can make a zone.
Wall W.
A wall.
Checkpoint K.
Checkpoints, which are useful when you die. If you pick up a checkpoint and your player dies, it will take you back to the point where you picked up your last checkpoint, rather than taking you back to your world map. Think of the world map as your home base, I guess, or like the point in the game where you start.
Staircase S.
A staircase. This goes up or down, obviously.
Sound source R.
Sound source.
URL source Shift plus S.
URL source. This is a new feature that I believe is only available to paid players. It basically lets you add a sound source from a link. This can be any MP3 file. It probably works with OGG, WAV. I don't know what file formats are supported and which aren't. I would say, just to be on the safe side, if you're going to use this, if you're going to use this, you would want to probably stick to MP3 or WAV.
Excludable sound source Shift plus R.
Excludable sound source. This lets you set a sound source within a certain zone. I don't particularly understand how this is meant to work. The documentation doesn't make it very clear.
Ambience A.
Ambience, this lets you choose ambience from a large list of them. I'll show you this real quick.
Enter the leftmost text position you would like this ambience to start at.
So maybe we want this ambience to start at, I don't know, 10.
Enter the rightmost text position you would like this ambience to end at.
We'll say, we'll say 20.
Enter the backwardmost Y position.
10
Enter the
to 20.
Enter the bottommost Z position.
Z is the height, so we'll say from 0 to, I don't know, 10.
Select an ambience. Alarm 2.
Now, you can go through these with the left and right arrow. The space bar will tell you what they are. There's a school bell. Let's just use that.
Volume. Use up and down arrows to adjust. Pitch. Use up.
So there we go. So I just hit enter on those prompts. Basically, it was asking for the volume of the sound and the pitch. You can use up and down arrows to adjust those.
45, 15, 0 on cement 5. 50, 15, 0 on. 50, 10. 50, 17.
Now if I walk west here.
27, 20.
Yes, that's the problem with ambience, is they will cut off very abruptly when you walk out of their area of effect, basically. That's why using a sound source is a bit better, because
Developers
it sounds more natural when you use a sound source and you walk outside of its range. You can still hear it, but the volume decreases. So there's that. There's how you make a ambience. Let me actually show you a URL sound source, though.
Ambient URL source Shift plus S. Enter the leftmost text position you would like this URL source to start at.
All right, so we'll say 50.
Enter the rightmost text.
50, or no, we'll do.
The Zodiac Killer.
50, yeah. We'll make it one tile. 50.
Enter the backwardmost Y position you would like this URL source to start at.
50.
Enter the
50.
Enter the bottom.
0
enter the top
to 10.
Enter the URL for this source.
Now it asks you for the link to the source. Let's just use one of my files. So I'll do https://christopher.w.me/files/temporal_overview.mp3 with capitals on the T and the O.
Volume.
Hey everyone,
use up and down arrows to adjust. Press -1.
We'll turn myself down a little bit.
-7, -8.
Time travel.
21, 19.
And now if I walk over here.
33. 42. 48, 19. 50. 50, 36. 50, 49.
Actually, I made the volume too low. Now we can edit that if I go back in here.
Hazard H. Excludable ambience Shift hazard moving hazard Shift plus H. Phantom dances upon.
Let's see. You can build hazards that move.
Door D.
Doors.
Passage Shift plus
passages.
Conveyor belt M. Moving platform Shift plus M. Arden rides.
Conveyor belt, a moving platform.
Vanishing platform V.
Vanishing platforms.
Travel point T.
Travel points, which can take you to different maps.
Sign G.
Signs, those are just for informational purposes.
Text square Shift plus G.
Text square, those are just squares that contain text. You hit enter on them.
Story point Y.
You can add a story point.
Story text Shift plus Y.
And text that goes with that point.
Point of interest high.
Points of interest.
Rope E.
Ropes.
Spawn point 10.
This is where the player will spawn.
Custom death message Shift plus D.
Custom death messages. These are custom death messages that play either when you fall or when you die in a certain zone.
Go to a zone on the map Shift plus Z.
You can go to zones.
Create an obscurity zone O.
Obscurity zones. This is useful if you want to obscure the camera or the viewer thing, which you hold down. You hold down Shift and hit the arrow keys to do that.
Create a hook altering zone U.
Hook altering zone. This specifies where the hook can and cannot work.
Manually add line slash.
You can manually add lines.
Edit line. Remove line.
Edit or
Copy raw map data to clipboard less.
edit or remove lines.
Paste raw map data from clipboard greater.
You can copy the text of the map to your clipboard or paste it into the map.
Paste raw map data from clipboard greater. Platform P.
And we're back to the top.
Edit line.
Let's go to edit line.
Switch line.
I'm going to hit the left arrow to wrap back to the bottom.
URL source 5050505010 https / line editor. Selected URL source.
And I'm going to hit N to go to the bottom of this line.
8 dash space 3 p m p 3 8 blank 8.
We'll do -1.
50 49.
Turn-based. Oh, time travel. Let me turn up my volumes here. So, as you can hear, essentially what's happening is I'm going to walk away from it so it's a bit quieter. As you can hear, though, it's playing the audio file for my temporal demonstration on in the game. So that's pretty cool. So if you have some music that you want to add, things like that, you can do that here. I'm going to get rid of it.
Copy, remove, edit, remove, which URL source 50.
Now it's gone. So that's basically how you do that. I think what we'll do is I'll show you a few things here. Let's show you how a moving hazard would work.
Build menu. Check sound URL exclude ambient URL exclude hazard H. Moving hazard Shift plus H.
The moving hazard, moving platform, passage, and the URL sources are for paid players, I believe.
Moving hazard Shift. Enter the leftmost text position you would like this moving hazard to move to.
So let's say we have a moving hazard. Let's say maybe it's, I don't know, a car. And let's say we want it to start at 20.
Enter the rightmost.
So it goes from 20 to 25.
Enter the backwardmost Y position you would like this moving hazard to move to.
From 20.
Enter the forwardmost Y position you would like this moving
to 20. So it's basically moving left to right across that portion of the map.
Enter the bottommost Z position you would like this moving hazard to move to.
You can change the height. So we'll say 0.
Enter the topmost Z position you would like this moving hazard to move to.
To, oh, I don't know, 20.
Enter the length of this hazard.
We'll set it to 1. So it's 1 tile wide.
Enter the breadth of this hazard.
1.
Enter the height of this hazard.
1.
Select a direction of movement. Right and left.
So you can change in what direction it moves.
Up and down.
Right or left. Or
right and left.
Right and left.
Up and down.
Up and down.
Diagonal up / right and down / left. Diagonal up / left and down / right. Forward and backward. Diagonal forward / right and backward / left. Diagonal forward / left and diagonal forward. Diagonal left and right. Down and up. Diagonal down / left and right. Diagonal down / left and up / right. Backward and forward.
So yeah, there's lots of crazy things here.
Down, left and right.
We'll just do left and right for the sake of simplicity.
Select a snap mode. No snapping. Move back and forth between endpoints. Forward to snap. Move from beginning to end, then snap to beginning. Backward to snap. Move from end to beginning, then snap to end.
These are different move modes if you want to move in really weird ways.
Snap at ends. Snaps between endpoints. No snapping. Move back and forth between endpoints.
We just want it to move back and forth rather than instantly transporting itself.
Enter the speed you would like this moving hazard to move at. Delimit with a colon if you wish to have separate forward and backward speeds.
Speeds are measured in milliseconds, so 1000 is 1 second. We'll do 250.
Select the sound your hazard should make while moving.
We'll make some B's here.
Volume, use up -1. Pitch,
Turn the volume down a little bit.
61, 44.
And we'll walk back over here.
61, 27. 61, 20. Nothing in the... Nothing in 46, 20. 30. Nothing in this... 31. Nothing. 31, 20. 0. 31, 19.
We'll go to 20.
20. 20. 18. 0 on cement 5. 20. 19. Nothing in this direction.
Actually, let me get rid of that.
Copy. Remove. Edit. Remove line.
Remove line.
Magic. Ambience 10, 20.
Get rid of that ambience.
Nothing. 20. 19. 0 on cement 5.
And my volume's too low.
Edit which Mazard 2020 line.
Let's modify the volume.
0 1 space 1 dash space 1 space 1 dash.
We'll set that to 0 for the volume.
1.
There we go.
20 19 0 on cement 5. Nothing in this direction. Nothing 20 20 nothing. Wait
a minute. I can hear it, I'm just not sure. Hang on.
Edit which Mazard line M Mazard.
So if we look at this line,
20 Mazard
M hazard
20 25
20 to 25,
20 20
20 to 20.
cancel.
Wait.
Nothing.
Come on. Let's try this again.
Remove edit line. Remove which Mazard.
Get rid of that.
Build menu. Walk check. Staircase at sounds URL exclude ambient UR exclude hazard moving hazard shift
Moving
plus
hazard.
8. Enter the leftmost text position you would like this moving hazard to move to.
Say 20.
Enter the rightmost text position you would like this moving hazard to move.
25.
Enter the backwardmost Y position you would like this.
20.
Enter the forward.
20.
Enter the bottom.
0.
Enter the topmost Z position you would
Say
like.
20.
Enter the length of this hazard.
Just to make it harder to jump over.
Enter the breadth of this hazard.
1.
Enter the height of this hazard.
1.
Select a direction of right and left. Up and down. Right diagonal. Up left and right.
So I just hit L to jump to left and right.
Select a snap mode. No snapping. Enter the speed you would like this moving hazard to move at. Delimit with a
250.
Select the sound your volume, pitch, 20, 18, 0 on cement 5, facing back, 20, 19, nothing,
Wait.
nothing in the 1x1 tile hazard, 20 feet.
Oh, hold on. I think I know why.
Edit line. Which line? Mazard 20 line M 20 25 20 20 0 20 0 space.
So I told it to go from 0 to 20,
0.
so it's actually going up and down.
0 2
Let's set the Y to 0. There we go.
20 19 0.
So basically, that's moving back and forth. If I were to step forward one tile, I'd get killed. So anywhere that moves, I'll get killed. So if I go
21 19 20 9.
Let's go to 2020, and I'll wait. And as you can tell, that kicked me back.
2 0. All.
Let's look at the...
Fenton timed out. Artem came to with a snarl of rage. Administrator, the death knight vanishes. Fenton. Miss PM. Player, the child of the Slan, and managed to make a mess of themselves one times already on test arena at 20 20 0.
Yeah, and this map name really doesn't make sense, but it's more of a test. So as you can see, my hazard triggered.
9 3.
So let's go back over here.
9 10. 9 19.
It starts at X20, Y20 and goes from X20 to X25. So that's just one example. Maybe you want to make something where you have bees that are guarding something and you want to get past them, so the player would have to wait for things to move away, and I just got a PM. Let's check that.
PM from Child of the Demons. Magdamer, why did you delete your spy stream? Check.
I'm making a new one right now.
PM to child of the...
Yes, I'm making a new demo of this game, for those of you that are wondering. So that's one way to use a hazard that moves.
Cut, remove lot, which hazard 2025.
The problem with this is I could sit here and do this forever.
Miss PM. PM from Child of the Demons. Magdamer. Oh, hi Chris's viewers.
Well, it's not a stream.
Miss PM. PM from Child... Chat. PM from Child of the Demons. Magdamer.
Wait, what the hell?
PM from Child of the Demons. Magdamer. Oh.
Yeah, okay, so that was sent.
Magistral...
So that's a moving hazard. Moving platforms work about the same. Let's say... Let's see, I'll show you how those work, I think.
Build menu. Rim, edit line. Rip, wall, check, staircase, ambient say, URL ambience shift, plus, URL source shift, URL ambient, excludable
Let's see, I've shown you
hazard H.
URL stuff.
Move door D, passage shift plus P.
I think I'm going to end this by showing you how the platforms work, moving platforms, and moving hazards. Or, and passages rather.
Conveyor belt moving platform shift plus.
The conveyor belts generally just move in one direction, either left and right, up and down, backwards or forwards, and you step onto them and they will take you in whatever direction that the author chose.
Vanishing platform V.
Let me check the time actually.
11:55.
Yeah, I do apologize, this is going to be quite long.
Moving travel point T. Vanishing moving platform shift plus.
Moving platform.
Enter the leftmost text position you would like this moving platform to move to.
We'll just say, just as a test here, let's say we want it to move from 10.
Enter the rightmost text
to 20.
Enter the backwardmost Y position you would like this moving platform to move to.
10.
Enter the forward.
And 10, so it's only moving left and right.
Enter the bottommost Z position you would like this moving platform to move to.
Say 1.
Enter the topmost Z position you would like.
And 1, just to make things simple.
Enter the length of this platform.
Length of the platform is going to be 1, so it's 1 tile wide.
Enter the breadth of this platform.
1.
Select a direction of movement, right and left, up and down, left and right. Select a snap mode.
Left and right.
No snapping.
No snapping, so it'll just move left and right.
Magic. Enter the speed you would like this moving platform to.
We'll do 1,000. Actually, we'll do 500 to make it move about once every half second.
500. Select a surface. Ash. Balloon. Wood shelter. Wood pile. Wood 3.
We'll just make a wooden platform.
Select the sound your platform. Manually enter sound.
So these are sounds that you can choose from, or if you know what sound file you want, you can type it in. If you go into the sounds folder,
upon his donkey,
you can look at all the file names and choose which one you want to use. These are just some sample sounds that you might want to use. Let's use this one.
Volume, -1, -2, -3, -4.
Decrease the volume to -5. This is the pitch.
Enter the stationary volume offset, a value to be added to volume when you are standing on the platform. Generally should be negative, so as to decrease volume.
We'll do -1.
15 to 0 on.
Now, as you can hear, the platform is moving back and forth. So if I stand here, it's moving left and right.
14.
Well, let's go to 10.
9, 10.
Now
10 to 0 on. 10, 10. Nothing, wood 3, 1 feet. AFK. Nothing.
Now it's moving in the air. So basically there's lots of uses for these. Maybe you have pits of fire or something, and you want the player to have to take these platforms and ride them across and then jump off at the right time. Maybe you want to make an elevator of some sort that's controlled by magic or something. I don't know, and it goes back and forth, and to get to the next level, you have to time it properly so that you jump onto it. So let's say I'm going to try to get on here. Let's just wait until it... Oop, I wasn't fast enough. Let's see if I can jump onto this here. There we go.
11, 10, 1 on wood 3, facing forward. 17, 10, 1 on wood 3, 19, 10, 17, 10, 1 on wood 3, 13, 10, 1 on wood 10, 10, 1 on wood 3, 14, 10, 1 on wood 3, 18, 10.
So, as you can see there, I was checking my location with C. It's changing because I'm riding on the platform now. So, as long as I stay in here, I will move with the platform. If I were to jump into the air or walk, I would fall off, and obviously you don't want to do that when you're in the middle of that, because the platform can move, and by the time you land again, it won't be there. So if I jump up here, I landed back on the ground because now the platform's gone.
15, 10, 0 on cement 5. Facing forward. 15, 10.
And you can hear the platform is moving. I'm roughly in the middle of its path, so it's going to the left, and then it'll move back to my right and go past me, and now it's heading back towards me. So that's basically how you would use that. Let me get rid of it.
Build, edit lock, remove lock, which platform to.
So now it's gone. So let's see here. Let's make a passage. So let's say maybe this is a parking lot.
18, 20.
And maybe, let's say just for the sake of argument,
Build, wall W. Enter the leftmost text position you would like this wall to start at.
wall's going to start at leftmost X. Okay, it's going to be 0.
Enter the rightmost text position.
100.
Enter the backwardmost Y position you would like this wall to start.
Make the wall start at 20.
Enter the forwardmost Y position you would like this wall to end.
20.
Enter the bottom.
0
Enter the top.
to, I don't know, 20.
Select a wall. Wall board. Would you like this wall to be transparent? If yes, the spire will be able to see through it, and the camera will always go through it. Yes, Y, no N.
No, I do not.
18. 18, 25.
Oh. Except now the problem is I'm on the other side of my wall.
Board wall, 1 feet. 2, 21.
So let's say, alright, so there's my wall. And just for the sake of argument, let's say I'm building a building. And maybe I want there to be a door, I don't know, let's say
26, 20, 30, 21.
at 30. So we'll build the door here. Actually, I should probably just jump myself back through. I'm going to actually cheat here and use the hook. There we go, just walked through the wall with the hook.
30, 19, 0 on.
Which is a bit unrealistic, but that's okay. So let's say here's the wall here.
Build.
And I'm going to build a passage.
Has moving door passage shift plug.
And I do apologize for the background. Things happening in the background.
Door passage.
So, alright, let's say
Enter the starting X of this passage.
passage is going to start at 30.
Enter the starting Y of this passage.
19.
Enter the starting Z of this passage.
0.
Enter the direction for this passage. 1 for left to right, 2 for bottom to top, 3 for back to front.
So we'll do back to front. Now, if you're building a passage that goes up or down, I believe you want to start from the bottom. So let's just do back to top. That's number 3.
Enter the length of this passage. The passage itself will extend out length squares in the given direction past the starting point, and create an endpoint directly after that.
I think if I just do 1.
Enter the open time of this passage in milliseconds. This is how long it will take between the playback of the opening sound and the passage actually opening.
So you can set a custom time, so maybe you're making a really heavy door that opens really slowly, and you want it to take a while to actually open. I'm just going to type 0, so it'll happen instantly.
Select a surface. Act the link bear, bath, beat, bleach, branch, bridge, bridge.
Let's use this bridge, this bridge sound here.
Select the opening sound for this passage.
We'll use that.
Select the closing.
And the closing sound.
Select the indicator loop for this passage. Manually enter none.
Just do none here.
Enter the close time of this passage in milliseconds.
0. So there you go. There's a very basic example.
30, 21, 0.
So I'm at 21, or
30, 21.
X30, Y21. If I hit enter here, there's my little door here. If I walk through it, I'm in the actual doorway at
30, 20, 0 on bridge.
right there. And then if I go down, I'm on the other side of my doorway. I can close it. I can open it. So that's basically how you make a passage. And I believe when you're making passages that go down, say like maybe you have a ladder that goes down into the basement or something, or some stairs that go down into your basement, or just anything that you can think of. I believe you want to start at the bottom. And actually, when you're building a map, you'll want to enable a property called the Sub-Zero property, which reminds me, let me hit Shift P.
Map settings menu.
This opens up another menu. Let's take a quick look at this.
Enable Sub-Zero navigation Shift plus U.
Sub-Zero navigation, as it implies, this lets you build things under either a Y value of 0 on 2D maps or a Z value of 0. So if you wanted to build basement levels or things like that, you could build a basement at -10. I don't know.
Toggle map public on /off view.
Maps are private by default. This makes it public. When it's private, obviously the only people that can access it are contributors.
Make map visible, able to be traveled to. V.
If you don't want maps to be able to be traveled to, you can make them invisible, or you can make them visible. This, I believe, impacts whether travel points will take you here.
Add contributor A.
You can add a contributor to your map. Obviously, be very careful who you add to this list, because anyone else you add has the same access rights as you do as the author. So just like with anything else, be very careful who you add. Be very careful of the people that you trust. I don't trust most people. That's just me. So yeah, just be very careful.
Remove contributor R.
You can remove contributors.
Set starting health H.
Hang on a second. Okay, hopefully you guys don't mind the background noises. Mainly my sister yelling and screaming, but that's nothing new.
Sketch.
Alright, so
Set starting health H.
you can add or remove people as contributors. You can set the health that you start out with on maps.
Disallow running shoes S.
You can disallow different things, so if you don't want people to use their shoes to make you run or jump,
Disallow jumping shoes J.
you can turn those off.
Disallow camera C.
Alright, this is going to be a redo here. I'm back in the menu.
Sketchbook.
Yeah, I'm having to re-record this.
Disallow camera C.
Disallow camera. This basically means that you can't use the camera to investigate maps.
Allow camera to go through walls Shift plus C.
This one explains itself. You can choose whether you want the camera to go through walls or not.
Disallow spire dot.
You can specify whether you want the player to be able to hold down Shift and use the arrow keys to examine the map.
Allow spire to see travel points T.
This is the same thing, so the viewer can be set to let you see travel points or not. That might be handy depending on what you're doing.
Allow spire to see doors D.
Same thing for doors, if you want it to view doors or not.
Disallow hook L.
You can turn the hook off.
Disallow seeing coordinates X.
You can turn off the player's ability to see coordinates.
Allow chatting on this map I.
Chatting, I believe this pertains primarily to voice chat, so if you want to allow voice chat, you can turn that on or off.
Set main menu activation zone M.
And the last option is set main menu activation zone. When you're building a map, particularly a world map, you can specify where you want the player to have to navigate to be able to press enter to access the main menu. And that should do it for
Enables
this. Basically, there are a bunch of options in here. I could go through here for quite a while and demo things, but I think this has gone on long enough. I think I demoed a lot of the more interesting things. You can, well, let's see, actually, I do want to show you how the obscurity zones work really quickly here.
build menu.
So let's hit P.
Edit, create, go to custom, spawn point 10, row P, point of interest type, story text shift, story point Y.
So a lot of this is pretty self-explanatory. Ropes, you just climb up or down them.
Text square shift sign G, travel point, vanishing plat, moving conveyor, passage, door D, moving hazard A, excludable ambience shift plus A, URL ambience A, excludable sound source, URLs, sound source, staircase, checkpoint K, wall W, zone Z, platform, paste trunk, manually, create a hook altering zone U.
Okay, I went past it. So a hook altering zone.
Enter the leftmost text you would like the hook to be affected at.
So we'll say from like 5
Enter the rightmost text.
to 10.
Enter the backwardmost Y you would like the hook to be affected at.
Say 10 for Y.
Enter the
10.
Enter the bottommost.
0.
Enter the topmost Z you would like the hook.
20.
Select a mode for this hook altering zone. Immediately halt.
So you can choose to immediately halt the hook. So it can't go past here.
Pass through and avoid catching anything.
Conversely, if you don't want it to catch on anything, even though there may be platforms there, you can choose that.
Behave normally for use within larger stop zones.
Behave normally for use within larger stop zones.
Immediately halt. Behave normally.
So then you can hit enter on one and choose what you want it to do. So that's basically what that does. It lets you control whether you want the hook to behave in different ways depending on where you might be in the map.
Build menu.
So let's see here.
Manually create a hook altering. Create an obscurity zone O.
And obscurity zones, as I said before.
Go to as create an obscurity. Enter the leftmost text position you would like to obscure objects within.
So we'll say 20.
Enter the rightmost text position you would like to obscure objects within.
20 to 40.
Enter the backwardmost Y.
At Y20.
Enter the forward.
So we'll do 20 for both the Y values.
Enter the bottommost Z position you would like to obscure objects within.
0.
Enter the top.
20.
Enter the obscurity flags. Use D for doors and passages, T for travel points, G for signs, K for checkpoints, B for belts, C for camera inhibition, S for total spire inhibition, and capital S for spire bypass. Lowercase d, T, G, and K will obscure both the spire and object menu, while uppercase will obscure only the object menu.
So yeah, basically you can obscure lots of things. Also, that does remind me, if I hit D.
Object menu with 2 items, press enter to track. Passage in point, left 3, at 30. Passage in point, left 3, passage in point, left 3 and in front 2. Passage in point, left 3, at the tracking passage in point, left 3.
So the object menu will list objects of interest in a map, and they will be tracked, I believe, as well. So if I hit Y,
left 3.
There we go. That took me right to my passage here. So yeah, basically you can hide all manner of things, and this might be useful, say, if you're making a puzzle, I don't know, and you don't want the player to be able to see something like a hidden door or maybe a hidden hazard or something like that. So lots of things to play with there. But I think that's going to do it for the map building part of this tutorial, or this overview. So I hit number 1, went back to my world map.
To go AFK, press enter of the trip.
Which is this trip map or whatever it is. Wait, what is this map?
First stairs to the roof of the trip.
The trip?
Forest, assign. Main menu. To go AFK.
Okay. The last thing that I want to show you that I think is very helpful is how to use the sonar. Now, the sonar can be turned on and off using a few different keystrokes. If you hold down Shift and hit
Sonar goes in both directions at once.
F2,
Sonar does not follow you. Sonar follows you.
this changes how it moves. So
Sonar goes in both directions at once.
this one has it going in both directions.
Sonar does not follow you.
If I press it again, you can set the sonar to not follow you, which I'm not sure why you'd want to use that. I think it just remains stationary based on where you last were.
Sonar follows you.
And sonar will follow you. This is the one that I typically like to leave it on. So the sonar can be used to detect upcoming hazards, changes in the tile types. It can be used to detect places where you can climb up or down. There's a few things that it does. So holding Shift and pressing F2 will toggle through the modes. F3 with Shift
Sonar step mode. Sonar loop mode.
sets it either to loop or step mode. It's on loop mode right now, and as you can hear, it's clicking off to my right. I'm pretty sure that indicates a wall,
Sonar off.
or you can turn it off. Now if I set it to step mode,
Sonar step mode. Forest house.
and
Rocket
I
and
take
forest.
and
A
I
nice
walk,
sofa.
yep,
Forest house.
that's a wall.
A nice sofa.
Now if I walk left,
Forest house. Rocket. Forest. To go a main menu. Assign. To jump into the dine first. To jump in. Assign. Main menu. Assign. Hardwood. To jump in. First
now
step. To jump in first. To jump as main. To go for rock
so
forest.
that's basically how it works. Now you may be thinking, like I thought when I first tried to learn this, this is very confusing. All these sounds are very confusing.
Sonar loop. Sonar off.
Well, there's a learn mode, which is made in the form of a map. So if I go to the main menu
Main menu.
and I go to pin maps,
Check. Pinned map. Pinned maps. New Bright City. Spider-Verse. Mega House. House thingy.
let's go to Sonar Learn.
Sonar Learn by Spider Maniac. 114 likes. Updated 16 weeks ago. There's a sign here, so read it, you fucking nerd.
Okay, I'm not sure. I don't think the profanity is necessary here, but whatever. So this is a 2D map. Let's hit enter.
This map, or a menu, was requested by a player, and I figured it could be beneficial to everyone. I hope it helps, and I hope my explanations aren't piss poor.
Okay, hang on a second.
Audacity.
Kathy is having another meltdown. Okay, let's continue here.
Sketch.
So I'm going to take a step to the right.
This is the sound for a hazard. To listen, press enter.
So you press enter on each of these tiles and it will play the sound. So that's the sound for a hazard. This is very useful, say if you turn on the sonar and you jump, if you jump and you're running to the right or trying to cross a hazard, if you can listen very quickly, you'll hear this sound. When you hear that sound, that tells you that there's a hazard immediately on the tile where you're at. So if you were to land, you would land in the hazard.
This is the sound for when you are coming up on air, or you have jumped into midair. It's tricky to explain. The point is, it deals with air.
This, yeah, it is a bit tricky to explain. The best thing I've found is when you're walking somewhere or you're in the air, this plays when you're in the air. It's also handy, say for instance, if you're on a platform and that platform ends, you'll hear this sound to tell you that coming up is just air. So you will definitely want to watch out.
This is the sound for when a tile is beneath you. It's especially useful for long jumps onto a single tile. It also indicates tile changes when walking on solid ground made up of more than one surface.
That's handy. That tells you when the ground changes basically. So maybe it changes from dirt to rock. You would hear this sound. It's also handy as it says when you're jumping, when you begin to hear this sound, it means that the ground underneath you is solid and you could potentially land without dying.
This is the sound for when you are approaching or are over a wall.
That's a wall.
This is the sound for when you are approaching an upward staircase.
It's when the stairs go up.
This is the sound for when you are approaching a downward staircase. This is a sound for when you are approaching or jumping over a vanishing platform. It will play when you are approaching a space where a vanishing platform should be, and when one is currently there.
That's for a vanishing platform.
Press enter to leave and go back to main. Good day to you. Assign. Main
So,
to go for
hopefully that helps you. Also, I did forget, if you hit Shift F4,
super fast, fast, medium, slow, super fast.
this determines how quickly the sounds play. This is most handy when you're in loop mode.
Sonar step mode, sonar loop mode, fast, medium, slow, super fast.
Like that.
Forest house. Rocket entrance, forest house, rocket entrance, forest house. Sonar off.
So that's basically how the sonar works. Now, it does take some practice, so I do recommend that you get plenty of practice with it, but I would say once you understand how it operates, it can be very helpful in terms of helping you navigate and do things like that. So hopefully that helps. I'm trying to think. I think I've covered a lot of the base stuff, and I mean, a lot of this game is building maps and exploring maps.
Speech mode off.
Most maps can be better, most maps I find are just weird and not that great. There are some really neat ones. This game, it leaves map design up to you as the author, which I think is, I guess it depends on the author. I do think in general, though, it's a really neat concept, and this is the closest thing we have to something like Minecraft. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to cover real quick.
Speech mode talk.
I guess just some other hotkeys real quick. Of course, I do recommend checking in the documentation folder. There is a file called readme.txt, I believe, which has lots of good information. But let's go through a few more keys here. If I hit F1.
Version 5.10.2. Up for 2 days, 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 57 seconds. Stats, received, 273.83 megabytes. Sent, 1.48 gigabytes. Peak, 46 players, on 5/28/2021 at 10:12 and 46 seconds AM.
That's information about the server. F2.
Server message, frequently asked questions. Q, what are skins and voice packs? A, the skins and voice packs are features that allow you to customize some of the spy interface sounds to your liking, similar to sound packs. Q, what is the difference between skins and voice packs? A, the skins allow you to mod the sounds of the game interface, such as menu sounds, chat sounds, PM sound, etc., while voice packs, on the other hand, allow you to mod character-related sounds, such as their jump sound, fall sounds, item usage sounds, etc. For creation of skins and voice packs, please read skins.txt and voicepacks.txt, found inside the documentation folder. For download and usage, please continue reading. Welcome, everyone. The skins update is an exciting new feature, and we would like to let you all know that if you'd like to test them, feel free. You can compile and switch them from in-game by pressing Ctrl-P and selecting Client Preferences. To download new ones, go to the main menu, and you'll find an option to browse available downloads there. Once you select a type of download, you are presented with a list of available packs. It's a checklist, so press space on all the ones you want, then click the download button to download them all. You can submit your created skins to X0 or Ivan so others can download them as well, and you don't have to worry about constant file hosting. Hope that helps. Have a good one. The Screams of the Dead Herald Administrator, the Death Knight's arrival.
Alright, so that was the current message of the day that is on the server.
Beacons enabled.
F3 turns on and off beacons. Since I don't have any players around me, it won't do much.
Beacons disabled.
F4 gives you information about how much data you've sent and received from the server.
Received 124.04 kilobytes. Sent 56.35 kilobytes.
F5
All muted. All unmuted.
mutes and unmutes buffers.
Select a new save voice.
F6 lets you choose the voice for text-to-speech chat messages.
70 ms.
F7 will ping the server, so depending on your location, it might be a higher number or something lower.
61 ms.
F8
Online/offline sounds dialog. Enable custom online sound checkbox unchecked Alt+M.
F8 allows you to upload or change your online and offline sounds. These are sounds that will play when you log in or out on the server. Now, I believe this is a paid feature, so you have to have a paid account to use them. But if I tab through here,
Enable custom offline sound checkbox unchecked Alt+F. Temporarily disable custom online/offline sounds checkbox unchecked Alt+D. Save changes button. Can't enable custom online sound checked. Browse for online sound button.
browse for online sound.
Enable custom off. Browse for. Open dialog. File name. Files of type. Combo box. Start.tog. Collapsed. Open. Can't. Up. Address. Documents toolbar.
This just lets you browse for those files. I'm going to hit escape.
Search window. Search box. Command. File. Cancel button.
We'll hit the cancel button.
Pressed. Sketchbook. Enable custom. Temporary. Save. Cancelled. Cancelled.
I'm going to cancel out of that.
Jason no longer. Viewing 20 players, including 2 evaluators, 1 moderator, and 1 administrator. 18 paid, 13 AFK, and 19 in your channel. Press Ctrl+C to copy their username. Oristar, Roxastar, French channel, AFK on quiet area of Lululand, 00600.
F9 gives you a list of players, so I'm going to hit S.
Slannon on Forest House of the Trip, 50.
It tells you the player name and their coordinates.
Viewing profile for Slannon dialog. General statistics for Slannon list Alt+S username. Slannon. Jason no longer.
If you hit enter on a player, you get to their profile page. We'll just hit down arrow here.
Total playtime, 4 days, 9 hours, 23 minutes and 8 seconds, giving them a playtime rank of 137 of 933. Maps finished, 51. Number of maps liked, 7. Times died, 724. Times suicided, 456. Number of chats sent, 1062. Number of steps taken, 213,414. Paid player, yes. Player rank, normal player.
Alright, so those are, that's some basic info for my player. If I tab,
Mute this player checkbox unchecked Alt+M. Mute this player's custom online and offline sounds checkbox unchecked Alt+O.
you can mute people, so if you don't want to hear from them, you can mute them from their profile pages.
Private message this player button Alt+P.
You can send a player a private message from here.
Report this player button Alt+R.
You can send a report.
Done button Alt. General statistics for Slannon list Alt+.
I'm going to
Done.
hit escape.
Rocket enter. Forest house.
Oh, and we're back in the map. So that's F9.
No one but yourself here.
F10, I believe,
No,
supposed to
evaluate.
does something with tracking. I believe F10 lets you track people. And then you hit, I believe it's a U to see how many tiles they are away from you. The problem is there's no one else on this map, and I don't generally want to track players, but it can be handy, say, if you're playing with someone else and you want to keep track of that person and know how far that person is from you in terms of tiles on the current map.
Cameras off. Cameras on.
F11 toggles on and off whether you hear the camera sounds from other players,
Cameras off. Cameras on.
so that's kind of useful.
Cameras off.
I'm going to turn that off because most of the time I find it very obnoxious when people use their cameras. And F12 does nothing.
Rocket entrance.
I think that covers most of it. There's probably some things that I missed,
Do you want?
but again,
Yes. Main.
you can look
Type.
at the documentation to figure out things and key commands I missed. Just trying to think if there's anything else I can cover real quick. Oh, there is. If we go into the game folder,
Run.
so I've got mine stored in
Desktop document.
documents under a folder called BGT.
Ballet Baka. BGT. Items view list. Crazy Party Beta 77 not selected.
which is where I keep all my games written in BGT because it is a folder that Windows Defender will not touch.
Spy.
So we'll open up the SBYW
Item.
folder. So there is another file, and I'm not sure how recent this is, but this just bears mentioning.
Aliases.txt.
There's a file called aliases.txt.
Aliases.txt notepad. Spy equals spy.
Now, what this does, there are lines in here that basically let you customize different commands. So if I read here from the top,
SBYW equals
SBYW
caret W S.
basically the first item before the equals sign is what you type in to the chat box, and the second piece after the equals sign is what it gets converted to. So this could be used for things like excuse me. This could be used for some things like typos. You could use it, say, to type one word that would be expanded into a whole phrase. It just depends on what you want to do.
Tonk equals that.
Right, so the line underneath that one is this one.
TAHT
TAHT equals
THAT.
that.
T equals this. I equals I. Just like equals just. Blank, blank.
So those are just some things that are pre-filled in by the program. You can, of course, modify these, change them, get rid of them entirely and make your own. And just like with the script keys feature, if you mess up the file too much, you can delete it, and when the program runs, it will recreate it. So
Spywin. Audacity.
anyway, I think this has gone on long enough, and I hope you guys have found this helpful. This is my official overview of the latest version of SBYW. As always, if you have any questions, comments, things like that, let me know. But this is going to do it for me, so you guys take care. Bye.